What's going on, guys? It's X-Wing. I hope you stick around. We are talking about collectibles today. How's it going, everybody? I hope today finds you well. So I wanted to go back in time a little bit because one of the reasons I started my channel was because I wanted to show you guys how to build a collection without breaking the bank. Not all of us can have master replicas everything, and I don't feel like there are a lot of YouTube channels around that focus on collecting and finding things that just aren't that expensive but are still really cool. Don't get me wrong, I would love to have a wall full of Sideshow collectibles, a wall full of master replicas.
What?
So there are a couple different routes you can take. You have to find out exactly what it is that you want to collect. There are collectors out there that are just into figures. There are people who want set used pieces. There are people who want reproduction props, things like that. I kind of like everything, so I have a big mix of a bunch of different stuff in my room. Still, some of my favorites are what I call kind of like the top tier. They're like the grade A collectibles, but they weren't very expensive. So if I told you I got something from the set of A New Hope for under 80 bucks, would you believe me?
No.
You might think I'm crazy, but I do. So from A New Hope, I have this cool piece right here, and it's actually a little bit of the crate dragon from when 3PO and R2 were walking around the desert. Now what they did is they took that thing, they cut it up into a bunch of pieces, and then they made these little bitty squares. I don't know if you can even see them in there, but it's cool, man. This is a piece of A New Hope. This was there on set when they were filming. I think it's just awesome, and it's just kind of a wow piece. But because I'm not getting the entire skull, I'm not paying a bunch of money for it. Now you can find these through a company called Mini Museum, and they offer a bunch of different stuff, but this one just screamed at me as soon as I saw it. Next up, we have a company called the Movie Reliquary. Now these guys do a similar deal. Pieces are a little bit bigger, but I have a section of Jabba's sail barge cloth, and then I also have a piece of the Sarlacc pit, the original Sarlacc pit before they did that weird bird-looking thing.
Mark, if you see this, I'm sorry.
Now these are cool because just like Mini Museum, these come with signed COAs right on the back of them, and they're just awesome little display pieces, and it's a piece of history. This was there when they were filming in 1983, so I like to look at these because I feel like it's just got some energy in it. It was there when it was all happening, so these things totally make me geek out. The pricing on the Movie Reliquary stuff is just absurdly cheap for you to own a piece of history. I'll pull it up right here. So you can see they actually have a couple different things. They've literally got some Wookiee hair, they've got Ewok hair, there's a bunch of different stuff. They've got some of the Bantha fur. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff you can get from here, but look at how cheap these were. This was 45 euros, this one's 38 euros. I mean, you gotta be crazy not to have a piece of this. And then we pop over to Mini Museum and take a look at this piece of the crate dragon. How much? 29 US. I mean, come on, that's ridiculous.
How's he gonna pay for all of this?
That just goes to show you how cheap some of these things are, and they're set use pieces you can put in your collection, stick it on a shelf, and they're a total wow factor. So let's move from cheap set pieces. Now we're gonna move into cheap master replicas. Yeah, I know you're thinking like, what? Cheap master replicas?
That's impossible!
So this is something that initially got met with some criticism in my community too. They didn't think they were that cool, but these are way awesome to me. So I'm a huge saber collector. I love sabers, love me some sabers, and I've always wanted a full-size master replicas. I bought one. I got the 2005 Anakin, and it put a dent in my bank account. And so I was looking to further my collection of master replicas, but I didn't want to spend 300, 400, 500 bucks on a saber. Upwards of 8,000 if you want some of the original master replicas.
Ow. Wow. Ow.
So I found .45s. Now .45s are basically the exact same thing as your full size. It's just been scaled down to .45. It still comes with the COA, Certificate of Authenticity. It's got a display stand and everything, but you're only paying 50 or 60 bucks for these guys. I had to stop myself in the middle of editing because I don't want to spread misinformation. 50 or 60 bucks if you spend a lot of time looking and a lot of time trying to find these pieces for the lowest amount possible. You can't just roll on right now and pick them up for that cheap. Makes it a lot easier to gather and amass a bunch of different sabers without breaking the bank. Now, the one thing I would say is you have to be careful with these because there are so many different variations of these .45s. This one, I didn't even mean to buy. It was super cheap, so I jumped on it. But it's a Best Buy exclusive, and it's been done in a dark chrome, which looks nothing like Palpatine's saber. So I got duped on that one a little bit. but it's still a really cool piece. But just beware when you're buying these things which one, because they also have convention exclusives. There's a bunch of different types out there. My personal favorite is the .45 Yoda. Now it's kind of hard to see in there. There he is. And they get it all the way down to little dinks and scratches on there. Just the battle damage alone, they're amazingly recreated. Yeah, they're .45. It's not as cool as a full size, but look, if you wanna master replicas, this is a cheap way to get it.
Who doesn't want more sabers?
Okay, so next up is another one of those things where it just feels like it's cool because it was there. This is part of the original film release of the movie back in 1983. What I have is a film cell from the release of Return of the Jedi. Now, you're not going to believe how cheap these things are. I'll try to show you so you can see. It's kind of hard to tell, but you can see Force Ghost Ben and Luke there on Dagobah. So, really awesome. Basically, what they did is they took the reels from the original release, they just clipped them out one by one, and now they're turning around and selling them, which is pretty cool. So, this is ridiculous. You can buy this on Amazon for about 28 bucks. Now, they do have a bunch of different variations of these. The company's called Film Cells, and you can get all 6 movies. You can get one movie, you can get one with a picture on it, and it's a specific, hero or villain from the movie. But they're just so cool to me, and it's another kind of a wow factor. Again, something else that comes with the COA. I feel like that's so important with collectibles. You have to have that certificate of authenticity. But for that amount of money, why wouldn't you get it? Okay, so last up on the list is something that's a little bit more expensive. You're looking and paying about 80 bucks for the set, but it's a set of 8. It's only 10 bucks a card for these 1996 gold-plated trading cards. Now, these have all been graded 10, and they each come in their own case. They've all been graded. It's a limited edition out of 10,000, so these will be gone sooner rather than later. And you can find them on Amazon, 80 bucks. So I highly recommend getting those guys because these are a serious wow piece when you walk in. They are so beautiful. And there are a couple different sets as well. So wouldn't hurt to get all of them. I haven't gotten all of them yet, but I'm sure I will. And these cards look absolutely beautiful on the shelf. They reflect light. If you got LEDs and stuff like that, it just makes them look so cool. So anywho, that was a little bit of a dive into some of the pieces of my collection that I really adore because they feel like they're really expensive collectibles, and when you show people, they're like, oh my god, how did you even get your hands on that? But they're really not expensive at all. So I hope this helped. I will put links for all of these collectibles in the description below. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. It helps. And just get out there and start collecting. Don't be afraid to dig in, dive, look for stuff. I mean, that's half the fun. The thing about collecting these days is it's so easy with the internet. Throw on some good music, hop on your computer, find some cool pieces that are cheap and are gonna make you happy. And let's not forget, I'm an open book. If you're ever curious about collecting, or you wanna find a piece, or you just don't know how to get this one thing that you need really bad, shoot me a message on Discord. I'm more than happy to help you guys. I love talking to you, so don't be shy. Give me a holla. Anyways, guys, this is Commander. Happy collecting. I'm gonna sign off. I hope I see you tonight for Hangar Bay. Y'all take care, and may the Force be with you.